You're listening to the Back Home Network, presented by Homefield Apparel. All right, well, Tamar, what a start to the season for the Bates brothers. You're undefeated, Tray's undefeated, and ranked number 12 in the country, I think. So mom and dad must be feeling pretty proud right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty excited. I mean, obviously, like, you know, they have their things to say about the way that we play and like how we're performing, but it's like it's nothing that like just completely kills our like confidence or anything. It's just like them holding us to a certain standard.
Even when you win, they're like, "Hey, awesome job, but you could have done this, this, and this."
Right.
It's all right. That's what moms and dads do.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, you got your first taste of a real Assembly Hall environment on Wednesday night against St. John's. What was that like?
My goodness, that was a crazy experience because it's like the reality finally started to set in that like I was like living out my dream of playing college basketball, and like I was like actually here in a uniform, like playing in the games, and it was just like it was crazy. It got to a point to where it was so loud that it was quiet. Like,
yeah,
like I couldn't hear nothing. Like I'm at half court playing defense. Like I'm like, dog, I can't hear anything. Like the environment was fantastic, and like the fans were great. I'm glad they showed love. Especially with that game starting at 9.
Were your mom and dad able to be at the game?
Just my mom, because my Trey played the same day. They played on Wednesday too.
Yeah, so they had to split it up.
Yeah, so my dad went to Barton, but that was a game that they actually lost on Wednesday when we played. So I'm sure.
Oh, they did. They lost a game.
Yeah, I'm sure they're still in the top 25, but
I didn't realize they lost.
They lost to another good team. So and it was the first. Yeah, it was the first game conference play for them.
Okay. Yeah, Trey's last tweet said they were undefeated in conference play. I didn't realize they'd started in conference already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they'll go get the next one. What did your mom say about the game afterwards? What were her comments about the environment?
Oh, I mean, she was like, it was the same thing because it was like she was in it. Like it was surrounding her. Like I was a little further away from her. So she was just like she agreed like with the statement that we had the best fans in the country, and like they showed that they like deserve that title.
Yeah. So it's interesting to me because this is your first time in an environment like that. And you're talking about how you're out there, you can't hear. It's got to be a little bit disorienting your first time there. And yet your first half was the best that you've played yet in an Indiana uniform. You scored 11 points, scoring in all different ways. So how are you able to take the craziness of this environment, your first big game, this new experience, and still channel it and stay focused and play as well as you did, especially early in that game?
Well, it really just a credit to like the focus of the entire team leading up to the game. Like it's like we kind of like know, like the older guys know like what the crowd would look like depending on who we played, and we were expecting like to have a good showing, and I mean I was just still like focused on like coming to execute and win the game. So obviously like when I heard it, but it's like I still need to do my part and make sure we get out of here with a win. Because so it's not too hard to remain focused just because like we came here to do something. Like we came here to win the game. So
yeah. Do you one of the things a lot of people were talking about kind of watching you in that first half is it's like, okay, all right, this guy's going to be a big game player. Do you approach a game like St. John's, which obviously is bigger, the environment, is going to be a little bit crazier, there's a little bit more on the line, as opposed to the first two games, which are still important and you still want to win them, but they don't have, the same kind of name. Like, do you approach them, a big game, differently than you approach the other games?
Well, I try to keep my like routine the same. Like my focus coming into the game is like always the same, like laser sharp focus. I'm coming in with the mentality that only one team can win and it's going to be ours. So like that's like what my focus is like geared towards. But I mean, it's like when we're playing like better teams and like and like obviously like it's more people at the games, like the everybody's level of play rises. And it's like because now we're playing guys that are like us, like had the same length, same quickness and like kind of think the same. So it's like now we have to, do a little bit more, like, act a little bit more, like cut a little bit harder, like do everything like with a lot more urgency just because, we're playing another good team. So, I mean, it's really just like, I do like what the game calls for. Like I knew that they were a good team and, I would needed to provide some kind of, spark coming off of the bench. And, that's what I did.
What's it like coming off the bench for you? Is that when you were, I'm sure, when you were at, in Kansas, you were starting and not coming off the bench. Did you come off the bench at all at IMG or were you starting the whole year?
Yeah, I started the entire year. So I mean, it's not, obviously it's like a different experience, but it's something that I've been enjoying because it's like, it's something new for me and like a new, kind of like a new challenge that I've completely accepted. And I'm like, kind of like, just like, let's do it. Like it doesn't like make me like not want to play any harder, like just not like want to give, like it makes me want to give more to the team just because it's like I'm put into like a new role and like I want to maximize it. Like I want to see like the best ways I can like fulfill like this spot that I'm in right now. And it's like I started watching guys like Lou Will and like other like good like 6-man or guys that like come off of the bench and just like how they get into a flow into the game, like coming in like after it's already been like a few minutes played and guys and already, kind of got into a flow. Like how does he, kind of like get himself, going in there. So, I mean, it's something new and something that I've been enjoying.
Well, and I mean, the bench was huge in that St. John's game. I mean, you scored 11 in the first half. Jordan Geronimo was the best player on the court for like 5 minutes in the second half, and Christian was good.
Yeah.
When you guys are on the bench, are you like communicating and talking about things you're seeing and talking about things you're going to do when you guys get out there? 100%. What is that communication like?
Yeah, like because like we can see everything like on the floor and like while like everyone else is in the game, like whoever's off the court, like we're talking to them, like because like it's only so much that they can see, especially like if they're not like in the back line of the defense or like if they're on offense. So it's like we're talking like about certain situations and like defending and like making sure we taking care of the ball and just like how the other team's playing and paying attention to like the scout and like okay like because like we'll know like what the hand signals are like for the play calls and all that, but we're like okay, you seen that's this play, or you seen like they did this, like that's horns like or floppy or something, like so it's like
yeah,
we're just over there talking the game like to make sure that we're like in tune because we know we're about to go in. So it's like because when we go in, it can't be any letdown. Like it can't be like the intensity has to like keep rolling. Like we got to keep rolling as a team. So, we have to have the same focus as the guys that are on the floor.
What did it mean to you? I mean, obviously, you came off the bench to start the game, but once we got toward the end of the game in winning time, it's tight. You were out there for a lot of it. What did it mean to you that Coach Woodson had the confidence to keep you out there for a lot of those minutes toward the end of the game?
I mean, it meant a lot to me, just the fact that he trusts me out there and, along with my teammates, just like, being a freshman. I mean, and it's like, obviously I expect to be out there, but the fact that like he has all the control to take me out in that moment or like in those moments, like when it's coming down the stretch and the game's close and it's like, it's just good to know that, he trusts me and we all trust each other. And it's like, and that's, like a way that we'll like continue to, win games is because there's a trust that, you got my back and I got yours. So, that's all it really is. But it meant a lot to me.
If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or marketer, you know how much your messaging matters. Bob Knight said, all of us learn to write in the second grade. Most of us go on to do greater things. And Coach is right about some writing, but not copywriting. The kind of writing that grows your business through memorable messaging and marketing. Any business can dominate the competition and win big with a world-class copywriter crafting time-saving and money-making emails, landing pages, ads, and more for you. Clay Manley from Speakeasy Sales Copy is one of the world's best, and he lends his talents to small businesses. Clay's an IU alum and an award-winning writer whose words have been trusted by Marvel, Slim Jim, Petco, and many other household names. After getting sick of helping the rich get richer, he left corporate copywriting to focus on helping small businesses grow. If your business could benefit from stronger messaging, then contact Clay at clay@speakeasysalescopy.com. And as a listener of the show, you can sample his proven playbook of million-dollar messaging secrets for free. Just go to speakeasysalescopy.com/scoop for more. That's speakeasysalescopy.com/scoop. This could be your banner year, and your copy is the X factor. Contact Clay at Speakeasy Sales Copy today. What do you think are the most important lessons that you guys have learned about yourselves through these first 3 games?
I would say because we've been starting the games really well, so it's just to make sure that, when we come out in the second half, like, it hasn't been like too flat, but it's just like we have to, like, our aggressiveness and like our defensive presence, like, everything that we did in the first half to get our lead, we just have to do it again. And obviously that comes with time, and we're doing better with it. But I'm glad we had that close game on Wednesday, because it's like it'll like help us out in terms of like later in the season, when we play other good teams, or just whenever we're in like a close game where every possession matters. So I would say like just like making sure that we're sustaining like the same, like I said, aggressiveness and defensive presence coming out of the second half, and just making sure we're playing a full 40 minutes, because everything else can just be fixed through reps and practice and watching film. So
yeah. How would you grade your own performance through 3 games? Like, how does it stack up to your own expectations for yourself?
Through 3 games, I say, considering we won, it's above a C. Like we're undefeated, so it's above a C. But in terms of like I say a B minus. I say B minus.
What do you think you've done well, and what are some things that you kind of look back on? You're like, okay, I got to get better at this, or that wasn't a true reflection of the player I am.
I definitely have to box out more. Limit teams to one shot, like, because that's something that I've like been telling myself like the past few weeks, and like the coaches, like they tell us that after every time out, but it's like I have to do it. Like I have to go box out and make sure that I'm limiting another team to one shot. Like that's one thing that I want to make sure that I'm doing like for the team, because it's like I'm selling them short. Like we get a stop, we make them use the whole shot clock or more than half of it, and they go and get an offensive rebound. But I say that, and then I feel like I've been getting better defensively. Still like some things that I can fix, and and obviously like that just comes with continuing to watch film and getting the reps and being in the games. But I don't know, I feel like I've been all right, like on the offensive end. But in terms of like things that I've like been doing well, I was just like saying like just continuing to motivate the guys out there, keep everyone level-headed, making sure that we're aware that it's a long game and there's going to be runs, but we just have to, sustain like our level of like focus and like attentiveness to what's going on, and like just play the long game, because it's like it's a 40-minute game, like, and it's a lot can happen. So I feel like I've been doing my best and just like being a constant talker on the floor, and trying to be a coach on the floor. But yeah, in terms of like improving, I say just making sure I'm staying solid defensively, boxing out, and making sure, when the ball's in my hands, make sure I'm getting our offense initiated, just doing whatever I can to make sure our flow is always at a high level.
I find it so interesting that when you talk about strengths and things that you've done well, you kind of talk about leadership. I mean, that's essentially what you described as, kind of being a leader out there on the court, which isn't something that a lot of freshmen 3 games into the season, that's not a role they're taking on, or probably something that they're really thinking about because they're just trying to kind of find their way. And I'm curious how you kind of view your role as a leader, on a team with a lot of veteran guys. I mean, you kind of described it there, but how do you view that role? You talk about, kind of talking and doing that kind of thing. And is that at all a challenge for you, or is that just something that you kind of do naturally?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've it always came naturally to me, I mean, since as long as I can remember, that's just always been how I've carried myself. My pops would, he always jokingly tells a story about how when I was 5, I was in kindergarten, I first started playing, and we run in the 2-3 zone, and I'm in the middle, and I'm telling everybody where to go. I'm telling everybody where they need to be, while we playing defense. So it's that. I mean, it's kind of just been something that has grown over time, and I've continued to get better at it. And it's every time I get somewhere, that's one of the first parts of my skill set that I showcase. And it's okay, so we know that this is what he can bring to the table. So now the coaches and even and myself being my biggest critic, that's the standard that I hold myself to. And I it's you can't try and shy away from it when everyone on the team and on the coaching staff, they know that that's you. And that's just where I feel most comfortable, being in a leadership position and being someone who can, just talk to the guys and and we can all be truthful with one another, tell each other what we need from each other. What do you I messed up. Let me know, get on me. Let me know what you need, dog. Cause it's we trying to win games. So, I mean, yeah, it's something that's all just came naturally to me. I mean, and that's just a credit to my parents and, the way they raised me and the standard that we hold ourselves to in the household.
It's a breath of fresh air to hear that, because it's something that has kind of noticeably been lacking on IU teams the last few years. And just through these first 3 games, I mean, the energy level that you guys are playing defense with, the communication that you're playing on defense with is something that we haven't seen in a while, and obviously your guys' defense has been good. And something else that a lot of people who have been at the games in person have told me is that Trayce is really embracing the role of leader more than he has in the past, being a lot more vocal on the court. His energy has been, just at a total, other level. What is, talk to me about what it's like playing with a guy like Trayce right now and how Trayce's leadership is showing up on and off the court.
Well, I mean, with him, being an All-American and just the fact that he's become a much more vocal guy. And, it's just I'm really proud of him just because all I've heard in the past is that, Trayce doesn't talk much, obviously he's a leader by example, but it's just now that, him being a junior and being the best player on our team, it's he's fully committed to, leading this group to, the heights that we expect to reach. So, I mean, playing with him, it's because this is the first time that I've actually played with really good bigs, really good bigs, and him, Race, Big Mike, Geronimo. It's the first time I played with guys who are really good inside. So it's just having somebody that I know I can just throw the ball into and cut, get to the other side of the floor, and I know something good's gonna happen. It's a breath of fresh air knowing that I have him on offense and defense. It's coming into games, what he's gonna give you. He's a walking 20 and 10. So
yes, he is.
So it is definitely it's great that I'm fortunate enough to play with him, and I'm glad Coach Woodson got him to stay.
Yeah. Speaking of Coach Woodson, I thought he had some really interesting comments after the St. John's game, talking about you, talking about, again, how impressed he is with your ability to meet the moment, your confidence, which was evident to everybody in that St. John's game. But he also said, and you kind of referenced this with the defense, he said, I've got to get him better defensively where he's not jumping around as much, where he can be a little more solid there. And that's one of the things that, that we kind of noted, on the post-game show, where it's man, Tamar is just playing ridiculously hard on defense, and talking and like all that stuff that you want to see from a young guy, where it's just, does he want to play defense? And it's clear you do. And you got the long arms and the frame to do it. And obviously there have been times where you've been like overrunning plays and maybe, almost being like too energetic, as Coach Woodson said. Do you think that's a function of just kind of being excited out there, adjusting to the speed of the game? Like, what do you think are the adjustments that you'll make to, be even more solid on the defensive end?
I mean, that's just me trying to play hard. Like I'm just trying to disrupt as much as I can on the defensive end. And, they were more pleased with my defensive performance against St. John's. It got better. Like, it's not, to the level that, that I hold myself to, and that, the team and the coaching staff hold me to. But, we'll take, any rise in percentage that we can. So, I mean, that's really just, me trying to play hard, and, with continuing to watch film and, playing more games, my defense will only get better. And, I'll just, stay solid and really be aware of what's going on. And, with our coaches, like, with like how great of a job they do on the scout, it's like, it's a lot easier for me to be solid defensively because I know what's coming. Like,
yeah.
So.
Oh, it seemed like there were several times in the St. John's game when you were playing off ball and you had great denying reversals because you knew what was coming and you were kind of jumping the passing lanes. Is that instinct? Is that the scout? Is that kind of everything coming together?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of both. Like, because it was like they like with the scout, like our coach was like this. If they get this pass, if they can't get this pass, then it messes up the whole play. Like, they can't run it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I just stop my man from getting the ball and stop dead the whole play, make him have to go play one-on-one. So, I mean, that's just, paying attention to the scout and just, being locked in. Like, because it's really just about, to me, it's like who can, like, stay locked in for the longest amount of time. Like, that's usually the team that wins.
Support for the Inside Scoop is also presented by Home Field Apparel, the presenting sponsor for the Back Home Network. And our friends at Home Field Apparel, they have the widest and most extensive collection of vintage IU apparel that you will find anywhere. And as I'm sure you've come to know, it's not just IU. They started with IU stuff and the Bison logo that kind of took everybody by storm, and they just did a brand refresh, so they keep adding to their IU collection. But they're also adding other schools like crazy. They have, I think, 120 schools now. And so as you're looking to shop for yourself or for the IU fan in your life, or even folks who didn't go to Indiana, Home Field Apparel is the place to go for excellent fitting, ridiculously comfortable, washable, vintage gear that really makes a statement about your fandom. And so go to homefieldapparel.com, use the promo code HOME, H-O-M-E, to get 15% off your first order. That's homefieldapparel.com, promo code HOME. Now, back to the Inside Scoop. One of the other observations that we made on the show, and I'd love to get you to address it, is that it seemed like the first couple games, like your shot fundamentals were off just a little bit. Like your feet weren't quite set. You were rushing it a little bit. Which is, so common from freshmen early in their careers. I think you were, 1 of 5 from 3 in those first couple games. And then it was really noticeable to me anyway that everything looked a lot more smooth and lined up against St. John's. And like you said, you had that scoring flurry in the first half. You got the floater, you got the step back 3. Like, you just seemed to be shooting a lot more smoothly, even more confidently. Do you agree with that assessment of your shooting from the first couple games, number one? And is there anything that you worked on or consciously thought about your shot leading into the St. John's game?
That was definitely an observation that I made, and Isaac, one of our GAs, because we go back and watch the film, and even like the coaches, but it's like, and other people around me, they're like Scoop, like you running out of your shot, you're not holding your follow through, you're not sticking your landing, and that's just like, I'm like, you're right. So now, like, I just had to consistently get reps up of holding my follow through, sticking and landing at every shot, like just staying in it, like whether it's a miss or a make. And then that's just another credit of me getting my legs back under me, like just getting back into playing, because I mean, I was out for a little minute. So it's like, now that I'm getting my legs back under me, I can't like get, my full range of motion, like on my shot. And, and even though I'm playing a game going up and down the court, my shot mechanics can stay the same because, I'm getting back into the shape that I'm used to being in. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I do like agree with that. And like, that was like one of the first things that like I noticed like in the shots that I missed. I'm like, I'm running away from it. I'm Steph, like I'm standing there. Like, so it's like that definitely helped and just like continuing to get the reps.
And the step back three against St. John's was beautiful. And it was kind of one of those plays where as you get the ball, I think you had it on the left wing and you had space to drive. But, it's almost, I could almost like see it developing where you kind of took the dribble to set the guy up, step back and took the three. I'd love to like take us inside your mindset on a play like that. Like at what point did you realize you were going to do a step back? Were you setting it up, thinking about that before you got the ball? Is that instinct? Because it's such a difficult shot and it's not one that we've had a lot of guys capable of making. What was your mindset like on that play?
Well, I remember when I shot the exact same shot against Northern Illinois, pumped in the same spot, but I was like, I rushed it last time. I shot it and I didn't hold my follow through. I kind of backed up and didn't stay in it. So I'm like, I knew I had the same move just because of like I saw the angle that he was running at me at and how fast. I'm like, there's no way he can like slow down in time to contest if I step back. And I was like, and after if he would have like been coming straight at me and like jump past me, like out of bounds, I'm driving the ball. But like since he was on the side of me, I didn't want to like drive back into him. But as soon as I realized that I had the same move, I made sure I set my feet. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm knocking this down. Like, cause I'm like, he's too far back to even contest. Like I probably could have gave him a little shimmy too, but nah, I was just like, make sure you get your feet set, hold your follow through, stick the landing. And, when I do that, I give every shot a chance.
Do you have any actual memory of the shot going in? Because I imagine the crowd reaction must have been kind of jarring. Because when you hit a shot like that with the crowd going so crazy, like, is that a moment that you can remember? Or is that almost like an out of body experience when you make a shot like that in an environment like that?
I remember every second of it. It was like, especially because like it didn't touch the rim. It was,
it was pure.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was the only time like that was like an out of body experience was after Trayce had dunked it on the fast break. The second time, that was the loudest it had been. Like Rob was guarding the ball and I'm at the nail. I'm helping. I'm like, dog, I can't hear anything. Like this is crazy. Like I couldn't hear anything. So I can only imagine what St. John's was feeling like. I'm like, because this is for us. So it's like, it's positive, but this is all against you. Like, I'm like, I can't hear anything. And then I was just like, we have to get this stopped. Like, they not going to get this loud and then they go score. So
that's right. And you did. Well, a couple more questions for you here as we close up. What is your mindset? What's the team's mindset going into these next 3 games? Because obviously you have that huge environment, big game against St. John's. You're now playing 3 teams that don't profile to be that good, but anybody's good enough to come beat you, on a night if you don't have your A game. So what's your mindset going into these games, and what are maybe some of the things that you think are really important for you guys to make progress on?
Well, our mindset going into this game, is just to, make sure that all our focus is on Louisiana. We're fully committed and dedicated to every team that we play, and it's like a constant reminder, like everybody says it, like one game at a time. Like we know who else we play, but it's like we want to focus on, like give all of our focus to this one team. Cause like I truly believe like if we do that, take one game at a time, that I feel like we can win like every game. Like I seriously believe that. Just like if we just completely focus on the task at hand, like what we have in front of us. And so that our focus right now is completely on Louisiana, just making sure that we are attentive to the scout, what they're running. Cause like a lot of the actions that we run ourselves, like, or that we like guard and practice when we're guarding each other, it's what these other teams are running. So it's like, Now it's just the fact of like knowing when they running it, when they like to run these plays, who they like to go to. And, like I said, like just knowing the scout and paying attention. But I mean, all of our focus right now is on Louisiana and, continue to protect home court.
Absolutely. So you have that game, then Thanksgiving. Do you know what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving? Are you gonna get to go home, or are you guys doing that in Bloomington?
Nah, we don't get to go home. I mean, I'm sure like some of the guys that live like in Indiana will go home, but I mean, I'm not. But I'll probably, I don't know. I might like if one of the guys are like driving up to their house, like Trayce or like KL or anybody like Lil, I'll probably like go up there with them. But I'm not gonna go home. I'll be here.
Well, and if not, there's an entire state of Indiana that would gladly host you for Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
you won't you won't be lacking for a good Thanksgiving meal. Yeah. What's that? I'm curious, what's it like on campus for you now? Have things changed at all now that the season's starting and you guys have had a big game? Like, have you noticed any difference in attention or kind of, just enthusiasm as you're walking around?
I mean, there will be like a few more people that talk to me just because like I'm the guy that I'm just like, obviously like I know what we all just did like at Assembly Hall, but I'm like, all right, now we on to the next. Like let's go get another one. So I'm just like, keep my head down and just going like to my room, get some sleep, get ready for the next day. But there have been like a few more people that have been like just like saying my name or just like saying what's up and that's always love. Like I appreciate that just because like I know like that they see me and I just appreciate that they support the team and I. So when we're all walking around, especially like when we're all together, like a few of us are together, like then people like kind of like can't help but say something just like because they're like excited about the season and just happy with what they've seen so far. And even in class, like me and Miller got a class together, there'd be people in there talking to us the whole time. So. But I mean, yeah, I think things have changed a little bit, but in our head, we haven't accomplished anything yet. We haven't done, anything yet. I mean, we won 3 games. So I mean, we just want to, continue to keep grinding and working and, making sure that we're preparing the right way for every game.
Excellent. Well, Tamar, thanks for your time as always. Congrats on the first 3 wins, and look forward to getting together for the next episode. We'll see. Maybe we'll get Fat Man Scoop on. Maybe we'll get.
Yeah. I'm gonna reach out to him. I'm gonna try and get him on here. I'm gonna see what I can do.
Okay, let's do it. That'd be fun, man.
Yeah, I would assume he would want to, just because like he was telling me like he want to hear the story about how my mom gave me a nickname. But I mean, it's like it was crazy. Like I woke up at like 6 the next day and like seeing that tweet. I was like, yo, like, cause I told you, like, I don't even get on Twitter. Like I don't even get on there and like just scroll. But like I'm like, hold up. All I seen was Fat Man Scoop, and I kind of seen like a little preview of the tweet, and I'm like, dog, there's no way this is like. I'm like, there's got to be like some other page. I went on there, got a blue check. I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, it's him. So it's like, it's just crazy because like that's my mom's favorite DJ. Like that's somebody that's like that was like an idol. Like that's like an idol to us. Like, cause it's like somebody that we would have never thought would like reach out directly.
Yeah.
To me. So it's like that was I sent it right to my family group chat. I'm like, yo, like sent it right to everybody. And they was going crazy just cause like they know, how much, my mom likes Fat Man Scoop and, how much me and my brother watched the movie You Got Served. And so
yeah,
he's somebody that's like known in my family. So I'm gonna try to get him on here, see what I can do.
Cool. Tamar, thanks, man. Awesome job the first 3 games, and looking forward to watching you guys on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care, man.
Yep.
All right, and that will do it for episode number 4 of the Inside Scoop with Tamar Bates. My thanks, as always, to Tamar for coming on here and just being so unusually insightful for a guy of his age, man. I really am enjoying these conversations. I hope that you are as well. And it's such a unique, insightful look into the basketball program, which is what we wanted this to be, and that is certainly what it is turning into. So thanks, obviously, to Speakeasy Sales Copy for supporting the show, being the presenting sponsor. Make sure that you go to to speakeasysalescopy.com. Talk to Clay. And thanks, as always, to our friends at Home Field Apparel. Use that promo code HOME, HOME, at Home Field Apparel for 15% off your first order. And thank you for listening. We will be back to talk with Tamar again here soon. And until then, keep your elbows in and your eyes on the rim, and go Hoosiers.